Anyway, John O'Donnell is going to come up, and I asked him again for some tidbits, and he kindly shook his head and said, "Who are you? I've never seen you before. Let me do my presentation." But I do know he has 9 U.S. patents, pretty impressive. Again, I'm looking for that mobile phone charger. Pixelworks, he worked there, so he'll talk about pixels, I believe. But I was fascinated. Look, one of his first jobs, Princeton Plasma Lab, Project Matterhorn. That sounds pretty secretive. And he told me I could tell you, but they'd never find you. They'd never find your body. But nuclear fusion, apparently. Maybe he can discuss why cold fusion didn't work out. Is that good enough? Do I have any more time? Okay, without further ado.
Thank you so much. Yes, my sordid past includes working at the Princeton Plasma Physics Lab, who, since I left the lab 40 years ago, I think 35 years ago, they've had a 40 or 50 year schedule slip in deployment. So some technologies take longer than expected, whereas the solar industry is ready to deploy today. I'm here to talk about a technology that was born in Kern County, that is pretty relevant to Kern County, is deploying worldwide, and we're looking at it coming back and deploying again now at scale in Kern County. And before I talk about what it is, I just wanted to talk briefly about its impact. Here in California, thermal enhanced oil recovery powers about half of all the crude oil that's produced in California. And in the evolving regulatory environment, by 2020, solar thermal enhanced oil recovery in Kern County could contribute to keeping more than $3 billion a year in the state, delivered from assets in Kern County, replacing fuels that were otherwise imported from abroad. And it could contribute keeping more than about 1 billion gallons a year of gasoline and diesel in the system, fully accomplishing the state's environmental goals and making significant contributions to air quality, as well as delivering on the order of 7,000 jobs for a number of years, building and operating these facilities. The technology was pioneered here in Bakersfield in partnership with one of the leading construction firms here, PCL, one of the leading engineering firms here, TJ Cross, and a fundamental innovation in solar energy. I have just as everybody else, I have a brief video that sort of gives the whole talk in 2 minutes, then we'll look more specifically about impact.
Thermal enhanced oil recovery, EOR, is the leading method of producing heavy oil. In thermal EOR, high-pressure steam is injected into the reservoir, heating the formation, which makes the oil easier to pump to the surface. Producing steam for EOR requires burning a huge amount of natural gas, a valuable resource that's in short supply in many of the world's oil-producing regions. Using the sun to generate steam for EOR significantly reduces the amount of natural gas burned. GlassPoint solar steam generators were designed specifically for the oil and gas industry. Mirrors inside a glass house track the sun, focusing its heat onto a pipe containing water, turning it into steam. The glass house protects the mirrors from the sand and dust common in oil-producing regions. By using commodity components like agricultural greenhouses, the cost of the steam produced is competitive with the cost of gas in many regions of the world and is much lower than the cost of alternatives, such as LNG or older solar designs. To maintain steam injection around the clock, solar steam is injected during the day, and steam produced by burning natural gas is injected at night. If the rate of steam injection is held constant, gas consumption is reduced by up to 25%. By injecting more steam during the day and less at night, gas consumption can be reduced up to 80% without the need for costly thermal storage. Unlike gas-fired units, GlassPoint solar steam generators produces zero emissions, making it easier for operators to comply with increasingly tight environmental regulations. Deploy solar EOR in heavy oil fields to reduce natural gas consumption while simultaneously reducing cost and emissions.
Oil has been one. The 16 billion barrels of oil that are in the diatomite, which have been unlocked by steam injection, are the other. Those are the main two assets that are enabled. And this is a Chevron slide from Radul Kumar. The upper chart is the history of the Kern River field, just a few miles from us, where production began in 1899. That field was revitalized by these thermal technologies that Chevron leads the world in applying. And there are examples all around Kern County of this same kind of fundamental transformation in recovery rates and ultimate recovery. What it does, though, is it creates a tremendous demand for thermal energy. And the idea is we build oil field steam generators that are designed to the same standards and with the same automatic controls to make solar energy a reliable, ordinary source of energy for that application. Earlier, folks have talked about 10,000 megawatts for the grid. There is another 10,000 megawatts right here in Kern County serving this application that is additive to that as a market opportunity. So, again, the challenge is we're not converting solar energy, the energy coming from the sun, into electricity. Instead, we're capturing it by concentrating it, and we're actually using usefully a much higher fraction of the solar energy. So that in terms of energy captured per unit of land, we are many times higher net energy harvesting per unit of land than older technologies. As the video mentioned, the breakthrough was using the same agricultural greenhouses that are used to grow tomatoes at vast scale here in California and around the world to build a new generation of solar collectors that are they weigh 10% as much as the older ones, and they are durable any place in the world. On the left is a picture of a facility in the Mojave Desert. On the right is a picture of a facility we built in the southern Oman Desert. You'll notice they look quite different in that our collectors are protected from the wind, so they weigh a tiny fraction. They have dramatically lower construction hazards. We built our first facility over on the west side of Kern County. This technology was born here, the first commercial solar enhanced oil recovery facility. But after that, we built the Middle East's first facility. And in the Middle East, that little video clip mentioned, we are addressing a shortage of natural gas and enabling development of assets there that without competing for limited supplies of natural gas. Our systems directly raise high-pressure steam from sunshine, so a 20-foot wide by 600-foot long mirror is concentrating light onto a 2-inch carbon steel boiler tube, just like the boiler tubes in conventional oil field steam generators. But the source of heat is fusion power from the sun. We've now completed 22 months of operations at our site in South Oman. That facility is located, it's a 500-mile drive to town. We were on time, on budget, zero injury, and we've beaten our contract energy output every month of operation. We're now going to large scale at that facility. Here, and the technology that the farmers developed for keeping greenhouses clean enables us to thrive in dusty oil field environments or areas with high sandstorms, or even here in Bakersfield, where the air has about 5 times as much dust as it does out in the Mojave Desert. So we are right now at this pivotal moment. We think that the market opportunity with the recovery of gas prices in North America and the emerging regulatory regime creates exceptional opportunity. The state has several pieces in the carbon regime. One of them was originally created thinking that it was going to bring in large amounts of biofuels into the state. There are challenges with the availability of very low carbon biofuels. The state has been amending the rules to recognize innovative methods of producing crude solar steam generation qualifies in such a way that, and the California oil fields are all located in regions of excellent sunshine, within 10% of the best in the world. So around all the places where steam is being used, there is excellent solar radiation. So the primary resource is there. In March of this year, the state issued an estimate that about 30% of the oil field steam could be solar. If it were, it would deliver 4.5 million credits into a year into a market that is otherwise forecast to be about 5 million credits a year short. It could stabilize the regulatory regime and prevent the import of about 1 billion gallons a year of alternate fuels. So there's a long story about the credit calculations have all now been greatly simplified. It's much easier for upstream operators to get the credits under the proposed readoption of the rules. And we think we're at a moment now where these very simple oil field steam generators that we build are ready to go to scale and make a contribution to California and Kern County's economy. Thank you very much.
So again, obviously we can see this convergence of technology, how different kinds of energy is being used, right? Solar to help oil extraction, and that's what I love these stories that maybe some of you weren't aware of. Okay, so we're going to have, after the next speaker, there will be lunch. I think it's going to be a working lunch since we're running behind. So, but just wanted to let you know in case anyone's stomach's grumbling or you're eyeing the plants in the middle of the room that look much more like salad, chef salad. Sorry, we don't have dressing. Okay.